TurtleDork here with the final review for Mandalorian Chapter 8. This one is called Redemption. We're going to go ahead and break this one down here with DiscoDork. I'm the TurtleDork. Let's get into this. So we pick up right where we left off from Quill getting killed and the stormtroopers picking up Baby Yoda. But it actually, you know how they always have like a little scene, a little preemptive scene before they show the title card. This one was actually kind of funny, and like you remarked that it does kind of feel Taika Waititi-esque with the comedy between those two stormtroopers, with them the banter back and forth, and a little violent with hitting Baby Yoda in the little Indiana Jones sack thing there. Like, come on, man! Like that was a little harsh. It's kind of funny, but a little harsh.
Well, I mean, that's to set up that particular payoff when IG-8 comes.
Yeah.
You know something bad's got to happen to them. You have to pay now because you hit Baby Yoda. So
yeah. What you think of that whole opening? Because we talked about it last week as far as Taika bringing his style into this, and I think we see it right up front at the top of the episode, which I thought was actually kind of fun and kind of cool.
And that's what I like about it. I mean, because it's Taika Waititi putting his stamp on the show. I remarked last time that I was looking forward to seeing him balance his comedic sensibilities with the character stuff, which we get that at the end of the episode. Well, not even just at the end of the episode. We get that all throughout the episode. But, him starting off right off the bat, putting his style of up front is something that I was hoping for and expecting, and I'm glad that, he did that, So
let's talk about some of these different characters, man, because IG-11, I want to get to his character. We just talk about him throughout the whole episode, but the opening with him, when he's on that speeder bike, seeing the droid on that speeder bike, I thought was pretty badass. But then, like, when he comes into town, and he's like shooting, and then he jumps off, and then he's doing kind of something that we saw in like the opening episode. But this one, man, he's just going full tilt. And it's pretty badass, man. And I was just like, and also the fact that he was reprogrammed, and we knew that we were going to get something where he was either going to have to sacrifice himself or prove himself to Mando because of how Mando felt, not just about droids, but about that particular droid. And the fact that he takes on the traits, because he's a nurse droid now, but he takes on the traits of personality of the person who programmed him, which was Quill.
Yeah.
And he definitely wins Mando over, especially with the sacrifice that he makes in the lava river at the end as well, when a great callback to episode 1 as well with the self-destruct.
Yeah.
But that whole arc, I guess, as you will, with that particular character throughout the season, even though we only saw him in like 3 episodes, I love what they did with that character in this episode. What was some of your thoughts on IG-11? Because I thought he was pretty badass, man.
I had felt like that was going to be the case. I think I even remarked about that in one of the previous videos that we did. But so my thoughts, and I guess it just, to me, I'm just focused on the execution of it because I had expected that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And again, like Taika balancing the comedy of that character with like injecting some heart into that character.
Yeah.
Having that character have he probably, out of almost all the other characters in the show, is the one that had like the most complete arc within the season.
Yeah.
And it's cool how he bookends the series. He bookends the season.
Yeah.
Right? And he's in the first episode, we see him, and he's in the last episode. And from the first to the last, you have the best arc, one of the best arcs in the show so far. And so, I don't know, I find that kind of interesting that they chose to do that with a peripheral, a supporting character like that. He's not going to carry over into season 2. So, even more, I guess maybe you could, even more so, he had a more complete arc than the Mando.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too, because we don't.
Granted, the Mando comes around,
but we learn more about Mando.
We do, but how different?
No, you're right.
Is he from the first episode to the last? Outside of the fact that he now is okay with, at very least, this one droid. Him not being cool with any droids and not liking any droids. He's cool with this one droid.
Yeah.
But everything else is, I mean, he hasn't really changed too much. Whereas IG-11, he's just a totally different. Because of the reprogramming and because of his time with Quill.
Yeah.
His personality is just different. It's like he did a complete 180.
Yeah.
So it's the more complete arc, and I'm not saying that like as a negative. I'm just saying like, if you actually just compare side to side, like on paper, if you look at both characters and their arc and how different they are at the beginning, I mean at the end as they were from the beginning, IG just has the more complete arc, and so I just find that interesting that is the case with him and not the main character, which I know you got to leave room for, growth, in further seasons, because we're getting to season 2. They've already announced that. But
But I think a lot of Mando's growth happened early on in the season because of the relationship that he has with Baby Yoda. And the fact that it's just within those first 3 episodes when he decides to save Baby Yoda, I think that's when we see his arc. But from that point, I don't think we see any further growth. But I think that was like the main switch that we saw in that character. So his arc kind of came a little bit earlier, as opposed to it being, a full arc to the end of the actual season. But going to his character, Mando, I thought we got a lot more information from the flashbacks as far as Space Gus, Giancarlo Esposito, like he knows all of them. I forget what, I have to go back and rewatch the episode, but I forget what they said that he was, because he knew all of their names. He knew Cara Dune, he knew Greef Kargas, he knew all of them. But learning his backstory as far as what happened to his parents and the fact that the Mandalorian is not a race, it's a creed, and they took him in, and we finally get to see, like when we saw snippets of that flashback, we finally get to see the full scene as far as what happens. And he finally gets the mask taken off, which was a brief moment just for that one particular scene.
I don't like that they did that.
I
don't like that they did that.
Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense because, I mean, he was close to death because I guess he must have had like some type of injury in the back of his head. And he says, he can't show his face to any living thing. And of course, it was IG-11, who is a droid, is not a living creature or a living thing. But I think they could have played it to a way where they could have took his helmet off, but we as the audience still don't see his face, because they've done that in episode 4. We had to eat, so I'm like, you could have kind of did that the same way, because there was really no emotional impact to him taking his helmet off in that moment to see his face. I mean, I think that should have been a bigger reveal. You know what I'm saying? So, but his character overall, what you think of like just how we were more informed into his backstory and we got to learn his name, which was
Din Djarin.
Din Djarin, yeah.
Din Djarin, yeah.
Djarin, okay,
I mean, granted, we saw the complete flashback, but I mean,
but we already kind of knew that.
Yeah, I mean, it's implied that after that happens, he obviously is taken in by the Mandalorian. We just get to see it. We actually see it, which is a cool shot. You get to see him looking at actually seeing the Mandalorians and getting a sense of, oh shit, like, okay, he probably saw these people and like, well, first of all, they look cool. He's a kid, and he's like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to be, and then they explain that, they took him in and they raised him to a certain point, and when he became of age, he started training with him. So so it was cool. It was a cool shot. I mean, other than that, like if they had not shown that, it wouldn't have affected my enjoyment of the episode one way or another.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about the whole helmet, his mask coming off. Because by the end of the episode, I forgot that they put that scene in there.
Yeah,
and I'm like, then there really was no point in revealing his face. It almost feels like that whole Rise of Skywalker like fan service thing. Like people kept saying, "When's he gonna take the mask off? When's he gonna take the mask off?" And I'm like, he don't need to take the mask off.
For what? Like, what does it do for the narrative? What does it do for the character?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. But there was some pretty cool action sequences. Let's get into like some of the direction and how some of this stuff was shot. We talked about IG-11 when he rolls into town your girl Cara Dune, like with the big gun and the joint, and then Mando take that joint all, and when he goes out there. But then the stormtroopers, man, we talked about this before. The motherfuckers cannot aim for shit. Like literally, they are out in the open, no cover anywhere.
I don't like that. I don't like that. If you're gonna make the stormtroopers shoot and miss, at the very least have the good guys be behind something, and them, the stormtroopers, at least hitting the cover that they're hiding behind, and not hitting them. But like, because to me, it takes me out of the show and the movies that I'm watching. Like when I was watching Rise of the Skywalker, there's that shot when Poe and Chewie and Finn are going down that corridor. The camera's pulling back, and they're going down the corridor, and they're hitting stormtroopers on the first shot, and stormtroopers are shooting everywhere, and you just see stormtroopers dropping in the frame, dropping, and they're hitting on these guys who are just resistance fighters and pilots.
Yeah.
Are dead shots, whereas stormtroopers, who in my assumption are soldiers, space soldiers, who that's your life. You train. When I was in the Army, when you're not fighting, when we're not deployed at war, we're training to fight. So all you do is train to shoot and fight, and then you can't hit a target. Whereas people who don't train every day to shoot and fight can just shoot you off one shot. And I know, like, I just wish the sequences. All it takes is you staging the sequence a little different.
True.
To make it more believable that, okay, they're almost got hit or they're close to getting hit. But when you just blatantly make them shoot around every freaking thing, and
that's
then
part of the joke, man. That's part of the joke. It's known that stormtroopers can't aim.
Let me ask you this: do you laugh at every comedian's joke?
No, I don't.
Some jokes ain't funny, right? So I'm just saying, like, that shit ain't funny to me. Anyway, back to the show. That sequence, the way that, again, another benefit of having Taika Waititi come in to direct, not only, doing excellent character work, but Taika Waititi has now had experience like doing Marvel films, right?
Yeah.
And Thor Ragnarok had incredible action sequences in it, right? So he's taking, I feel like he's taking his experience working on with the MCU, and it's translated well as far as staging. But also, I'm pretty sure that he's working with it's not just him. I'm pretty sure he's working with an experienced stunt team and action director and action coordinator that are coming up with all these different set pieces and stuff like that. Yeah. So they just make a great team at the end of the day, because some of my favorite action sequences of this season are in this episode, and a lot of it has to do with the characters that are in those sequences too. So I don't know, I thought it was well shot,
and the fact that we care about these characters, we get to that point because their backs are against the wall. We actually care, like, and then when they go out there and they out there like just blasting these stormtroopers, like, you're rooting for them, and like when something happens, then you worry. Like, and I only get to Baby Yoda too, because he gets in onto some of the action, because you get that one stormtrooper, the flamethrower stormtrooper that comes in, and he uses his powers, he uses his baby powers, his baby force powers, to push that fire blast back into the stormtrooper to save everybody before they can escape. But I love seeing Baby Yoda get into a lot of the action, and you can kind of see that was starting to get set up, because the way they kept cutting back and forth to him. But I loved all that stuff, like that sequence, and how they staged that leading up to that moment. I thought that was awesome. But even the end, when we finally get, and I forget his name, so I just call him Space Gus, but in the TIE Fighter, and Mando, because Mando gets his jetpack, which I guess we could talk about that, because we found out that a lot of the Mandalorians that were on Navarro were killed off, because I guess after he left in episode 3, the blacksmiths stated that some of the Imperial guards came there after they left, and I guess they killed most of them off. So you just see a lot of their helmets. So Mando is pretty distraught about that. But I don't know. What do you think of like that whole sequence with him finding out that his people, his creed?
I appreciate it for being in the show, so that at least you tie up. Okay, so what happened to all the Mandalorians that came at the end of that episode and helped him out? Because now they're out in the open. So what does that mean for them, right? They have no place to go. So what happened to them? Do they just leave? Or what? So without this scene, we're left to just what happens with Ming Na Wa's character. We have another loose thread, but the fact that they tie it into the end of this episode and give closure to the blacksmith as well.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no,
especially when I'm assuming the second season is going to go away from Navarro and we're going to be in other places. And that blacksmith being such a prominent character for season 1. Like, I'd hate for her to be another Ming Na Wa type character where you introduce her and, like...
There's no payoff or nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to it.
Because she's more significant than that Ming Na Wa character, I believe. So,
at least at this point.
So the fact that we got closure for that character, I appreciated that particular scene.
Yeah, so going to Space Gus and the TIE Fighter, and so he gets his jetpack.
Oh, also, going back, it's important to have that scene in there, too, because it's not only serves the blacksmith character, but it also progresses Mando in that he has his sigil now, and the significance of that particular sigil being that creature that Baby Yoda levitated. Did you notice that? It looked like it was a rhino thing. It had a long horn.
Oh yeah, the mud horn.
Mudhorn. So you got the Mudhorn sigil. And so I appreciate I appreciate that. And
because now he's tasked, because the blacksmith mentioned that until he's of age, because you would have to raise him and train him.
That's another significant thing in that scene. It sets up season 2 sort of.
Yeah, because it's like if whether he becomes of age or you send him back to his home planet, like you're basically his father.
Yeah.
So now
and she tells him you have to find his people and return him to his people. So again, setting up season 2. So there's significance to that particular scene.
Oh yeah,
outside of just closure for the blacksmith.
Yeah. So that sets up, I think, what it seems like what the main story is going to be for season 2, because him trying to get Baby Yoda or the child, because Jon Favreau mentioned that it's not called Baby Yoda.
I was like, it's Baby Yoda.
He's like, it's the child or the asset. That's what Bob Iger said, that Jon Favreau told us that it's not called Baby Yoda.
You lose, Jon Favreau. You can't beat the internet. I hope you understand that. Yeah, you directed freaking Iron Man 1 and 2, and you're show running this season, but you can't beat the internet. You can call them that, but the people who are gonna be paying all this money for DisneyPlus and all this money for Baby Yoda merchandise, we're gonna call them what we want to call them.
We'll see when the toy comes out and what the title of that toy is. If it says Baby Yoda or if it just says the asset.
That toy is gonna say the asset. And I'm still going to hand my girl, baby, here's your Baby Yoda. She's still going to say, oh, you got me a Baby Yoda. So look here. It's Baby Yoda. Sorry, John. Hey, can't win them all, bro.
Hey, look, I agree with you. I can't argue with you on that point, man. Like I said, the internet has adopted Baby Yoda, so unfortunately, that's what it is. So,
But you know what, though? Like, it's funny because already before we even get to season 2, we have a clear, and I appreciate this, and it's probably going to make me enjoy season 2 a lot more, or at least going with a different mindset.
Yeah.
I appreciate knowing going into season 2 an endpoint, a trajectory, or an end goal. All right, we're trying to get Baby Yoda back to the. Whereas in season 1, we were like, okay, so where's this going? What is his purpose? What is he going to do with Baby Yoda? Is he just going to keep running and hiding in different places? Playing cat and mouse with Baby Yoda or what? But at least going into season 2, we know, okay, there's a definitive mission, there's a goal. All right, he's got to get him back to his planet.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. So then you got the last scene with the TIE Fighter, and he uses his jetpack because he's always wanted the jetpack. And he takes out Space Gus, and he tries to get the bomb, and he takes him out. But when that TIE Fighter goes down, we know that he ain't dead, because if you don't see a body in story, especially visual storytelling, then the character is never really dead. Which I'm glad, because if it was his end, then that's another actor, a great actor that's wasted. But to see where that carries over, what you think of his so-called, and then like that little lightsaber or saber sword, whatever he had.
It looks like a negative energy sword to me. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's not what it's called in Star Wars lore, but in other movies, cartoons, and anime that I've seen, like it looks like that's what it is. So it looks pretty cool. It's a cool visual.
Especially that last shot.
And that whole entire sequence, how it plays out. The dog, not the dog fighting, but him with Mandalorian attached and stuff like that. But that reveal, I was positive that even when we saw it crash, that he wasn't dead. So it was just, it's just affirming like what I already suspected. So
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I guess we get DisneyPlus is rolling along. I think they said that season 2 is going to come out fall of 2020. So we'll be back for that, and of course we'll be back for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So DisneyPlus has some other stuff. I think that's like the end of summer.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's the end of summer, and then it'll probably go from Falcon Winter Soldier to Mandalorian season 2. Then we get Obi-Wan. So they plugging along, man. I'm excited.
And What If? Marvel's What If is coming out. It's gonna be 10 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. They said the first season of What If.
But I think, is that this summer or next summer? Or summer 2021?
Is it? I think it's 2020. Hopefully it is.
I remember from Comic-Con when they showed that slate. I think it's 2021.
Oh, damn. Okay. Never mind. You gotta wait 2 years.
I would like it if it was this upcoming summer, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I guess those are our thoughts for the final chapter, Redemption of Mandalorian season 1. Sorry. I was about to say chapter 1. Chapter 8. Anyway, go ahead and check out the podcast and all our fellow dorks in the description box below. And we will see you guys when season 2 drops later next year. So with that, we out. Peace out.